cheers as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Houston Texans. The big left foot of Sebastian Janikowski ready to get us started. And off we go from Seattle. They'll run it here. This is D'Onta Foreman. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Call it a gain of 7, and it gets them a new set of downs.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too. Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Now on first down, he's going to sneak it. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
Far be it from me to second-guess a call. I think the people in the stadium are probably doing the same thing. Did we just see a 1st and 10 quarterback sneak?
For no gain. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they're on the move as they face a second down here. Watson hands this to Foreman. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with 3rd and just a couple. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the first. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Now Foreman. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Yeah, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Well, I tell you, I thought either the scoreboard was wrong or I was wrong or both. But that was an attempt for a field goal on third down, and it was no good as well.
And I'm trying to wrap what little brain I have around why this would be a good idea. But I cannot come up with a logical explanation for that one.
Yeah, well, my brain's smaller, so I can't either here. I don't know what they were doing. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissic. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
14.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. And he's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there just before halftime. 46 yards. An inaugural trip to the red zone here for the Seahawks. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5. And he's got it. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Doug Baldwin in the final seconds of the first half. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. No, he missed the PAT. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there. And this will stay a 6-point ball game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. Now on 1st down, he's going to sneak it. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. It's Kareem Jackson making the play defensively.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Davis. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Tempo. Try it. Gotta go.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8.
Go. 14. Hey, check 51. Hey. Gotta go.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson rolling to his left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. J.J. Watt in there to make the play. It'll be a loss of 14, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
The throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Come back. Richmond.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Caught here by Griffin. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter.
Richmond. Come back.
Watson looks to throw again. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. First catch there for Thomas. It's a 1st down. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going. So, I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them rocked on their heels.
They'll run with Foreman. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Play action from Miller. Now Watson finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a 2-yard gain. And all of a sudden here, it's third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's a carry for a former starter. This is Lamar Miller. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
On the ground with a tight end. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
Tiger, tiger, tiger. Come back, come back. Come back, come back.
They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Black 99 Philly. Come back, come back. Tiger, tiger, tiger. Two jet.
He'll look to throw. This will be caught inside the 10. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Back to throw. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Tiger, tiger, tiger.
He's back to throw. Toward the pylon, caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Jordan Akins in the final minute. And the Texans can take the lead with an extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He's got it at the 15. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 57 yards. They still got 2 timeouts. Got to start using them, don't they?
You absolutely have to. You save them for this situation, but you have to use them.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. A first down carry for Davis. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the past. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
Let's get it. 95, 95.
Here's Carson. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now the timeout will be called, so they're in field goal range with 3 seconds left. So now this thing's coming down to the big left leg of Sebastian Janikowski. With 3 seconds to go, this for the win. And the now 40-year-old veteran able to put this one through. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You
I
loved
did.
the defensive.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back. Yeah. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday.